Imagine your portfolio drops hard, and you have to decide whether to sell or keep holding. Which investor would you expect to stay calmer? Someone relying on professional advice, or someone getting investment information from social media?
I would guess the professionally advised investor. Better information should make people less likely to panic.
That is the intuitive answer. But this study found a more complicated pattern among Japanese retail investors.
Complicated how?
Reliance on several professional information sources was associated with lower investment grip, meaning lower stated tolerance for losses.
So people using advisors or securities companies were more willing to give up on a losing position?
They reported lower loss tolerance in the study's hypothetical scenario. That is different from proving what they would do in a real market decline.
Then I suppose social media was associated with even weaker grip.
Surprisingly, no. Reliance on social media was consistently associated with higher investment grit.
That sounds almost backward.
And that is what makes the paper interesting. Its title is Investment Information Sources and Investment Grip, Evidence from Japanese Retail Investors.
So the question is not which information source produces higher returns.
Correct. The study asks how investors' information sources relate to how much loss they say they can tolerate.
And stronger grip is not automatically better investing.
Exactly. This paper measures tolerance, not investment quality. The research problem starts with a common assumption. If an information source is more professional, people using it should naturally become steadier investors.
But steadiness depends on more than the source itself.
Right. Investors differ in age, wealth, financial knowledge, risk preferences, time horizon, and family responsibilities. Any of those could relate to loss tolerance.
So the researchers needed to examine information channels while also considering those personal characteristics.
Exactly. They looked at professional sources, such as outsourced independent financial advisors, an investor's own securities company, other securities firms, and external financial experts.
What about ordinary sources that do not involve paid advice?
The study also examined free information sources, including mass media and personal networks, and it treated social media as another information channel.
That gives a comparison between formal advice, everyday information, and online social platforms.
Yes. The central question is whether reliance on those channels is associated with stronger or weaker investment grip.
But we still have to be careful with the word influence.
Very careful. The study reports associations. It does not establish that using a particular source directly causes someone to hold longer or sell earlier.
The same person who chooses an advisor may already differ from the person who mainly uses social media.
Exactly. The evidence should not be turned into a simple causal story. To investigate the question, the researchers used a large data set of 161,677 respondents from the 2025 Survey on Life and Money in Japan.
How did a survey measure investment grip?
Through a hypothetical loss scenario, respondents indicated how much loss they would tolerate, and those responses were used as the measure of investment grip.
So this is stated behavior under an imagined loss, not a record of real trades during an actual crash.
Correct. The survey can reveal how people say they would respond, but it does not directly observe their brokerage accounts under stress.
How did the researchers analyze the answers?
They used ordered probit and probit models to examine relationships between loss tolerance, information sources, and investor characteristics.
What does ordered probit add here?
Think of the outcome as ranked levels of tolerance. Ordered probit is designed for an outcome with an order, such as moving from lower to higher tolerance, without assuming every step between categories is equally large.
So it can estimate whether reliance on a source is associated with being toward the higher or lower end of the tolerance scale.
That is the key intuition. The models also include characteristics such as financial literacy, wealth, age, risk aversion, short-term outlook, and family responsibilities.
Which helps account for some other differences between investors.
Yes, while still leaving us with an observational association rather than proof of cause and effect. Now to the results. Reliance on professional information sources was negatively associated with investment grip.
Which professional sources showed that pattern?
The abstract identifies outsourced independent financial advisors, the investor's own securities company, other securities firms, and external financial experts.
In plain English, people relying on those sources tended to report less willingness to tolerate losses.
Yes, free information sources, including mass media and personal networks, were also linked to lower loss tolerance.
Then social media stands out even more.
It does. Reliance on social media was consistently associated with higher investment grip.
It would be easy to invent a story that social media makes people overconfident or emotionally attached to investments.
But the supplied evidence does not establish that mechanism. The defensible conclusion is that social media reliance was associated with higher grip in this dataset.
What else was associated with stronger grip?
Higher financial literacy, greater wealth, and older age were associated with higher investment grip.
And what was associated with lower grip?
Greater risk aversion, a short-term outlook, and family responsibilities were associated with lower investment grade.
So, information source is only one piece of a broader behavioral picture.
Exactly. And none of these results tells us that higher grit necessarily leads to better returns or better decisions. The safest takeaway is not use social media and not avoid professional advice. The study does not justify either recommendation.
Then what is the useful lesson for an ordinary investor?
Treat your information environment as part of your decision process. When markets fall, ask not only what you own and why you bought it, but also which sources are shaping your willingness to keep holding.
So, the study turns information sources into a self-check rather than a ranking of good and bad channels.
Exactly. It also reminds us to separate persistence from judgment. A person can hold through a loss for sound reasons, or hold because they refuse to reconsider. Another person can sell for sound reasons, or sell because fear takes over.
Investment grit tells us how much loss someone is willing to tolerate, not whether the underlying decision is correct.
Right. The paper also points to implications for policy design, advisory practices, and digital or AI-enhanced investment platforms.
Because a platform becomes part of the environment in which investors react to gains and losses.
That is a reasonable practical implication, as long as we do not turn the association into an unsupported causal claim.
So, when my portfolio falls, the better question is not simply, am I strong enough to keep holding?
A better question is, what evidence supports holding? What information sources are shaping me? And am I mistaking endurance for good judgment?
That makes the surprising result useful, without pretending it tells us which source guarantees better investing.
Exactly. The strongest lesson is that loss tolerance is connected with the information ecosystem around investors, and understanding that connection may help people examine their own decisions more carefully.